Hey guys, welcome to tonight's masterclass. Chris Stafford here, and I wanted to start off by just thanking you guys for being here today. I really appreciate it, and wanted to talk about the steps to being a top listing agent without spending all kinds of money. Because one of the things, as a 30-year plus listing veteran, I've been selling real estate as a listing agent in San Francisco, and one of the things that I'm really into and I'm very passionate about is finding listings for our listing pipeline and finding listings and filling up our listing pipeline without spending a lot of money. I don't want to spend any money doing it. There's so many real estate agents out there that really spend tons of money. I can't believe it. I mean, I have one coaching client that I'm working with right now who is spending over $5,000, if you can believe that, $5,000 per month on Zillow leads. And the cute thing was, the funny thing was, is I was always asking him, well, what kind of leads did you get? Did you get any great listings? And no, $5,000 a month. And he was getting a lot of buyer leads and a lot of unqualified listing leads, if you can believe that. So, I'm probably preaching to the choir, but being a listing agent is so key right now for a lot of reasons. As I always say, being a listing agent is really important because you can make more money, you can leverage your time, you can leverage your business, you can do more business, and I really believe that you can do more, make more commissions and make more money while taking more time off as a listing agent. Really tough to do that as a buyer's agent. So, yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. I think one of the biggest things that's really affecting us right now, and that is that's really going to make it incumbent upon us to be more of a strong listing agent, is really going to be, the NRA, the National Association of Realtors ruling what's coming down in the courts that needs to be approved, I understand, by the DOJ and the courts, and that is this whole commission thing. You probably, unless you're living under a rock, you probably have heard that commissions, the whole commission structure is really going to change, and it really can significantly change for buyers agents. And I think that the more that we are all really strong listing agents, it's going to be really cool for us because we're not going to have to really necessarily deal with that on so many different levels as a buyer's agent. But, I think I see this, especially for a listing agent, I really see that whole thing, number one, being really advantageous to us and a great opportunity for listing agents, number one. And number two, it's just going to demonstrate how much more important it is going to be for us to be listing agents as opposed to buyer's agents. So I think that's something that's super important. So the question is how do we become a successful listing agent? What can really get us through and really be a really long-term listing agent and really have the longevity in the market, in the real estate market, to be successful as a listing agent. And here's something that's really important. It's not just doing more business. I think it's really about having fun doing it. That's what my whole thing is always, after 30 plus years, I can tell you, we need to have fun being a listing agent. Um, Being stressed out, of course, you're going to have stressed out moments. Of course, you're going to have down days and you're going to have up days and all that kind of stuff. But the whole thing is, as my spiritual mentor once told me, which I love repeating, she once told me, she said, we're making all this shit up anyways. So why don't we make up great stuff? And so that is one of the biggest things that I really talk about, in my coaching program, which, as you know, you can see at the bottom of your screen if you're not. And that is theagentunleashed.com/masterclass. Make sure you hit that link and check out my masterclass and book a call with me. And I'll tell you how we can make your business way fun. All right. Compared to what's happening right now. So here's some pointers, okay? Some in terms of how to be a successful real estate agent, specifically a listing agent. And I'm really going to take these things, sort of in a foundational nature and start off talking about what are the most important things and work our way down, if you will. Um, Number one, I think, and a lot of people sort of gloss over this fact, and that is really addressing your health and your mindset. Addressing your health and mindset is super key. We really want to make sure that every single day that you're doing something for your mindset, which could be meditating, praying. It could be doing yoga. It could be doing mind work. It could be doing journaling, reviewing your goals, getting excited, doing affirmations. These are all things that you can develop or work into your routine. And a lot of people are sitting there saying, well, why do I have to deal with mindset work? Well, I'll tell you, it's really the foundation of every single thing that you're going to be doing for the rest of your day. If you're not in the right mind space, if you're not in the right mindset, then it is super important for you to get over that. Because if you're not in the right mindset, guess what? It's going to be a lot more difficult to deal with issues and problems during your day. You're going to be unmotivated, and you're really not going to want to deal with a lot of problems. You're not going to want to go out and prospect for new listings. I mean, there's so many things that are really contingent upon you having a great mindset. And the same goes for health. You have to be strong in mind and body. And I'll tell you, a great way to improve your mindset is get your butt in the gym. Work out, take a walk, go swimming. I'm a real big swimmer and I love working out every single day, doing something. Do I like doing it every single day? Hell no, I don't. But I do know, as you guys, no big deal here, that, I'm not really telling you anything that isn't pretty obvious. And that is that if you work out, you are going to feel a lot better. That dopamine is going to be released into your mind, and you are going to have an amazing mindset. You're going to have the energy and the motivation to do the things that you know that you have to do and carry you throughout the day. And so one of the things that a lot of people think to say to me, well, why do we have to start out with mindset and health? And that's the first module in my real estate course, is talking about how can we set the routines and the patterns in place for you to start this way, so that you come into the business on a daily basis in a really strong health and mindset. Super important, super key. So what does that mean? That means developing those routines. I don't tell people what to do. I ask them what they can do in terms of what mindset work they can do, in terms of what health routines that they can adopt. I think that's really important. And then hold them to that. I have a great accountability program where I make sure that what you say you're going to do, you do that every day, especially Monday through Friday. Develop those routines, because the money is in the routines. Let me tell you, the money is in the consistency of those routines, just like the money's in the consistency of your prospecting and everything else. And as a result of that, what you really want to do is live a more conscious life. You want to basically be able to just really take time for yourself during the day. Develop a gratitude practice. That's another great way to, really strengthen your mindset. Live consciously. Take the time throughout the day. Be grateful, that type of thing. What part of the health thing also, obviously, is eating right, making sure that you're eating the right foods. You're not eating fast food. You're not drinking alcohol to excess. That is, your diet is super important to give you that energy and to give you that healthy mindset. Working out, as I mentioned, figuring out a way to sleep well. It is really important that you sleep well, because, again, that's going to go a long way to helping you with your health and with your mindset. The other thing, too, is that, as I mentioned, having some kind of a spiritual practice that you can use that to sort of bolster your mindset and bolster, your energy and your motivation for the day. But, take my word for it. Routine, routine, routine. Build these into your routine every single day. It's super important. So the next thing that I think is really important is for you really to have a vision. If you don't have a vision in your business, then guess what? You're going to be just sort of flailing in your business without any roadmap, without any guide in terms of what it is that you really want for your business. It's super important that we uh, understand that. I have my vision by me and my mission every single day. I've got a journal here that I write in. I do a lot of journaling to help my mindset every single morning. I've got my goals here. I know what my goals are going to be every single day. And I also have my mission and my vision right here because this is what's really going to motivate me and incent me and propel me every single day to really help me in terms of getting through the day, staying motivated, staying energized, and staying consistent with everything that I really want to do. So it's really super important that you have this. Some people, Brian is asking, what's the difference between a mission and a vision? Great question. Picture your mission, brief statements. Both of them are brief statements. We're talking not more than 2, 3, 4 sentences tops. But your mission is, what are you doing in your business right now? What are the people that you want to reach out to? How are you going to make those people happy? What are the types of business that you're doing right now? How is that going to make you feel right now to give the best service, let's for instance, to those kinds of people? So your mission is what you're doing in your business right now. Your vision is, where do you see yourself, your business, and you personally in the future? So those are two distinct statements. A lot of times I use them interchangeably, just for ease of reference. But your vision is a statement of what is going to bring you the greatest amount of joy. What are you going to be looking forward to in the future? How are you going to use your business as a vehicle to help you accomplish all your personal goals and business goals for the future? So that's really the difference between your mission and your vision. But your mission statement really should be what you're doing right now. And it basically make these things fun. I mean, every business, even, there's some people here that aren't even real estate agents that are watching me. You should have a business plan. You should have a mission. You should have a vision. And what this does is it really makes the whole thing fun. That vision statement and your mission statement, they should be damn exciting. They should really get you worked up. Why do you think I write out my vision every single day in my journal? It's because it excites the hell out of me. And it gives me a sense of direction. It motivates me, and it makes it really super simple to overcome obstacles. All right, I want to say that again. It gives you a sense of direction, it motivates you, and it helps you overcome those obstacles that we all have during the day. That client that pisses you off, the escrow that goes sideways, whatever. You need to have that in front of you. Once you write it down and put it in your business plan, have it in front of you all the time. It's super, super important. And then, it goes without saying the important thing. Now, I've already been talking now for 15 minutes. We haven't even been talking about how to find listings. Okay. I'm going to get to that in a second. But I want you to know, from a foundational standpoint, it is super important for any entrepreneurial business. I don't care if you own a restaurant, if you own a real estate business, any kind of business at all. It's super important that you have these things in place to help you with your business. Third thing, then, next thing is your goals. All right. Set your goals. What are the 3 goals that are going to be the most important to you? I think that from a marketing perspective, it's really important to have 3 different ways to find listings. What are those 3 different marketing strategies that you're going to use to find listings? So if you're trying to increase your listing business, you should have 3 marketing strategies that you're constantly doing every single day or every single week to fill up your listing pipeline. Why 3? I don't know, guys. I just picked this number out of my butt. It's just really what I want you to do is, just like anything else, you should have 3 streams of listings in case, there's one stream of listings goes bad or goes south, then you've got the other 2 to rely on. So, the 3 listings could be, the 3 strategies could be, one could be your sphere of influence, contacting everybody that you know in your life, your past clients, your leads and prospects, your friends and family, and just remind them that you're in real estate, you're in the business, and you're looking for referrals. Super key. All right. Another thing could be working probate listings. That's one thing that I like to do. It's a great way to find high-end listings, and it's also a great way to develop relationships with probate attorneys for future referrals. Another thing could be knocking on doors, expired listings, joining board of directors or committees, doing Facebook ads, SEO marketing. I mean, I've got a list of 22 different ways to get listings. That's not all encompassing. And I'm sure that there are more, but there's so many ways to get listings that don't cost a lot of money. That's the key. You don't want to spend money. I am not into spending, thousands of dollars on bullshit listing leads every single month that don't pan out. Generally speaking, I have interviewed over, gosh, excuse me, I've interviewed over 85 listing agents to find out what their best practices were. I've been coaching real estate agents, my gosh, for the last 10 years, and I've been selling real estate. My coaching clients love the fact that I'm still in the trenches. I'm still selling real estate, which reminds me I have to call a client as soon as I get off this live, that I'm still selling real estate in the trenches in San Francisco. My clients love that. Based on this knowledge, I can tell you that it is super important that you have these listings, 3 strategies at least. You're doing it consistently. But the most important thing is find ways to get listings that you like doing. Okay. That's the most important thing. Because what I know after all this experience and talking to all these listing agents, if you're not doing things that you like to do, if you're not doing things that you're good at, you're not going to do them consistently. I could tell you to go knock on doors. Who the hell likes to knock on doors? Except one of my coaching clients in Southern California that I'm working with. And the guy's a whiz at knocking on doors. I mean, he's absolutely amazing at knocking on doors. Can't get him to call a sphere of influence. That's a whole nother story. But nobody likes knocking on doors. All right. Are you going to consistently knock on doors if you hate it? No. Find out what you are good at, what you do like to do. And that's one of the things that I can help you at the agentunleashed.com/masterclass is to help you identify those marketing strategies and then really do a deep dive into those marketing strategies and get good at them. So whether you use me as your coach or not, do that. Find the different marketing strategies, find what you're going to do consistently, and then do a deep dive into those strategies and get really good at them and do them consistently. And then here's the other thing that most top listing agents do, and I do in my coach. I do this personally in all areas of my life, especially my real estate listing business, and that is develop micro standards or minimum standards around each of those marketing strategies. You can develop small little baby steps. What are the smallest micro steps that you can take every day, Monday through Friday, to make those things happen? Okay, so for instance, let's just say you said that you are going to call your sphere of influence every single day. Maybe your minimum standard or your micro standard is going to be that you're going to call one person every morning, Monday through Friday, just one. I like to joke, that I don't really care if your house blows up, your husband leaves you, and the dog dies. You are going to do that thing. So you got to keep these things so simple that no matter what happens to you during your day, you're going to accomplish that standard. Maybe with probates, you're going to call one probate attorney every single day. Maybe you're going to record one small 2-minute video every single day for your Facebook ads. Whatever it is, it's got to be so simple and so easy that you can do it anyway. And here's the whole point behind it. And this is basically the essence of what I call my micro momentum marketing. And that is you start off so simple with baby steps that you're going to eventually develop the consistency habit. There's that word again, the big C word, the consistency habit, and you're going to keep doing it. It's going to develop into a habit, and you're going to want to do it more because you're going to feel more comfortable doing it, and you're going to get better at doing it. So that is really key, is to figure out what these marketing strategies are for you to fill up your listing pipeline and then develop micro steps around those strategies. And then here's the other important thing. When I've talked to real estate agents who are really top listing agents, they've got a strict routine that they block time. They block out the time that they're supposed to prospect for listings. And that time is sacrosanct. Absolutely nothing can interfere with that time. This is super important. So, I don't care if somebody wants to set up a listing appointment with me, doctor's appointment, dentist appointments. You got to take your car in to get it serviced. I don't care what it is. You've got to find a time where you can really dedicate to that time period, and then don't let anybody mess with that time. Put it in your calendar, block that time out, and start working it. I mean, that is really super important. Use block time. And one of the things that I think it's really important to note here in terms of, if something that's part of your marketing and setting your goals, is that I think it's really important that you do something that's really personal to you, that is going to, endear yourself to listing prospects, and how can I say it? Build rapport with these listing prospects, because nowadays everybody's BS monitor is finely tuned. And so, as you know, most people, probably all people, do business with people that they know, like, and trust. And so, to the extent that you get in front of them, that you can build rapport with them on the phone, there's a lot of NLP tactics that we do in my coaching program that you can research on your own if you want. Build rapport with your prospects, because you can't just slam people into signing contracts, signing listing agreements. They're going to do business with you. They're going to sign the contract with you when they know you, when they like you, and when they trust you. Super important. So I talked about different ways to get listings. Couple things you can do with social media. It seems to me, I'm going to talk out of both sides of my mouth here for a second, but it seems to me that a lot of people really love social media, and they think that social media is the godsend, that this is what it's going to work to get me listings. Guess what? It's not. It's not the magic bullet. Um, I think that social media has its place. I think that social media is really great for brand awareness. It's really great to make people aware, continually aware that you're in real estate. It's great for you to become sort of an authority figure in real estate. I have met very few people that are using social media to actually get listings now. And so I think that I've talked to so many listing agents that they spend all kinds of money and energy really developing their social media game, tricking out cameras and these lavaliers, microphones, and everything else. And they're spending an inordinate amount of time every single day posting multiple videos and all that kind of stuff. For real estate, it's really good if you use it judiciously to, like I said, increase your brand awareness, become an authority figure. But if you think that you're going to do it to get listing leads, get listing appointments, I don't know many agents. I'm sure that a lot of agents are thinking about, oh man, this is such bullshit. But I'm telling you, it's not. If you are getting a lot of leads from your listings, please let me know. I'd love to, talk to you more about it and see how you're doing it. But if you are going to do social media and you are going to do videos, which I think is a really important part of doing social media, you can do a short form video, which is basically just a 2 or 3 minute video, or a loop reel, which is just a 3-second video, maybe even something funny, where in the comments you put a post where you're going to what is the problem that sellers experience? You're going to agitate the problem, and what's the solution for that problem? So problem, agitate, solution. Problem, agitate, solve. That is something that is really good for all your social media posts. What do sellers have a problem with? Is it finding a new property? How do you juggle selling one property and buy another property? That's a problem. How do you agitate that problem? By making you all anxious and everything else. There's great ways you can agitate that problem, and then come up with a solution based on your experience. You've done A, B, C, D, E to make it super easy for somebody to sell one home and buy another, blah, blah, blah. You can do that all in a 2-minute video. You don't have to be very detailed. Nobody, listen to me, nobody wants to watch a long video. If you're thinking about recording a 10-minute or 15-minute video, nobody's going to watch it. Save your time, save your energy, keep it short, keep it brief. but do short form videos and loop reels. I think those are two ways that you really can, number one, again, develop the brand awareness, develop the authority, and most importantly, don't spend a lot of time doing it. Because listen, the other thing too is you need to be super authentic in these videos and really talk, pretend like you're talking to one person, your ideal client. Don't get caught up in having your hair and makeup perfect. Don't be caught up with everything being perfect, your background. I mean, look at some of my videos I have on social media and YouTube and everything else. Hell, some of the times I'm walking outside, I'm all sweaty, or I'm just getting out of a pool. You know, I have no shame. But the point is, a lot of people think that I'm very authentic, and at times very vulnerable. And guess what those two words do? Those two words lead people into building rapport with you, and that's what you want to do. So keep it real with your videos. Keep it real with social media. Don't spend a lot of time doing it, and do it for the purposes of building your brand awareness and your authority. And I think that's enough said about that. I think another thing, excuse me, is making sure that you're pricing properties as a listing agent. This is one of the things top listing agents do. Price properties like a pro, okay? You need to know how to price a property. And if you don't know property prices in your marketplace, study them. Get your happy butt on MLS and pick the areas that you want to work in and really look at what properties are. What have they sold for? What were they listed for? How long were they on the market? You can even play a game with yourself and find out a previously property that was sold, and find out what, before you find out what the sold price was, guess what the list price was and how long it took on the market. But it's really important that you're really strong with pricing. But here's the deal: don't spend a lot of time on pricing. Sounds like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth. Uh, but feel very confident about where you're pricing your properties. Come in strong, come in confident. And here's the reason why I don't spend a lot of time on having a discussion about pricing with my clients. And the number one reason is sellers already know. In the old days, I used to go into a listing presentation. I'd spend 30, 45 minutes just going through every single property that's sold in the neighborhood, comparing it to their property. Here's the pluses and here's the negatives. And, so based on this, and I'd have these long pricing conversations, your property should be priced at. Screw that. My listing presentations now, because of the internet, sellers already know roughly what their property should be sold at. They already have a good sense for what their properties will sell at. They probably have a good sense for what their listing price should be. And what you want to do is just go in. I always ask sellers, do you have any expectations with regard to price? Throw out the number that you think the property should sell at, what do you think the property is going to list for and then sell at. Talk about your pricing strategy in terms of your marketing. Should you price it high? Should you price it below market? Are you expecting multiple offers? What have you? But here's the catch, and here's the secret, is start talking about price reductions the moment you're in that listing presentation. If I have a house for $500,000 that I think the house is going to sell for $500,000, and the seller wants to list it at $600,000, and they're adamant, and I'm going to lose the listing because the property, they want to sell it for $600,000. Here's what I do is I say, okay, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I'll list the property for $600,000. But if this property doesn't sell in a month, we need to adjust the price. I'll let you know, full transparency, what all the buyers are saying, what all the buyers' agents are saying, and I'm going to have a real frank conversation with you all the time, consistently. I'm not going to wait 3 weeks before I give you any feedback. I'm not going to wait 3 weeks before I talk to you about the price. And then if we don't have an offer in 3 to 4 weeks, we need to adjust the price. Sign the listing, and then every single week, every single time you talk to a seller, always talk about price reductions, always talk about price adjustments. And I'll tell you that the secret here is you're setting the seller's expectations to have that conversation. And, surprise, surprise, it is going to be super easy to have that conversation with a seller that you have to adjust the price once you have been talking to them for the last 3 to 4 weeks about price reductions. So make sure you start talking to sellers about price reductions right up front. I learned this early on from a very experienced, super successful listing agent. I do this all the time. Um, the other thing I just wanted to mention is always communicate with your sellers as we're talking about price reductions. Make sure that you always talk to your sellers up front. How often do you want to hear from me? How often do you want to communicate? How do you want to hear from me? Are emails okay? Texts okay? Do you want phone calls once a week? How do you want to hear from me? Again, set the expectations with your sellers and be organized. You need to be organized. You need to have help if you have a lot of listings. But don't get caught up in the whole thing about hiring a lot of VAs or assistants and all that kind of stuff. One of the common questions I get is, should I have an assistant right now? I just got this question last week. I was talking to a super cool real estate agent, listing agent, and I said to him, I said, you don't have any business. You're not selling anything. You're not listing anything. I said, once you get to the point where you're listing, 5 to 10 homes a month, yeah, then you can start thinking about getting help. But right now, just be organized. We can talk about, if you want to hit me up, we can hit me up in my DMs. We can talk about how to stay organized, how you should definitely be super organized with your listings. But again, communicate and be organized. Set the tone up front with your sellers. Time management is key. Set the expectations with your team and your clients. Take advantage of every time management technique you can have. There's calendar, schedulers, spreadsheets, Evernote. I mean, there's just so many different notions. There's just so many different ways you can stay on top of everything. Take advantage of everything that's out there. Two more things. One is, and this is something that I get in trouble with myself, and that is stick to the basics. Okay. All of us, especially those people like me who have ADD, you're always looking for the shiny object syndrome. You're always suffering from that. You're looking for the next best thing. And there's so many things that are always in our periphery, always trying to dazzle us. Okay, let's have a website doing this way. Let's do property statements this way. Let's have this kind of CRM, this kind of lead dialer, this kind of blah, blah, blah. There's so many different ways that people are always gravitating to new stuff that they're not sticking to the basics and they're not developing those habits and routines on a daily basis that you got to do, okay? That you have to, if you say you're going to spend an hour every single morning calling people, all right, don't spend 2 hours every single morning figuring out how the next super duper dialer is going to make all those calls for you. Get in the habit of making those calls. One of my favorite expressions that I love telling everybody, including myself, is that don't judge the success of your day based on your results. Judge the success of your day based on your actions. Super important. Like myself, if I know that I'm sticking to the basics and I'm calling everybody that I'm supposed to be calling, I do it every day, every Monday through Tuesday. I try to do it between 8:30 to 10:30. If I know that I'm doing it, I don't get one lead, I don't get one appointment, but I went through and called everybody that I said I was going to call. To me, that's a successful day. I'm super excited about that day. So stick to the basics. Don't get caught up in the shiny object syndrome. Don't get caught up in having all your ducks in a row. There's another thing that a lot of us do is we want everything to be perfect before we're going to pick up that phone. Just pick up the phone and start calling people. If you want to get really good at scripts, which is really important, like I have in my program, call 1,000 people. Call 1,000 expireds. Call 1,000 probate attorneys. Guarantee you're going to be really good after you make 1,000 calls. Hell, you're going to be good after you make 50 calls. And you're going to be really good at it. You're going to be comfortable at it. You're going to be confident at it. And you're going to want to do it more. So stick to the basics. Don't get fooled by the shiny object syndrome. And the last thing I really want to talk about is what's really important, and I think a lot of us miss the boat in this area, and that's lead follow-up. Making sure that you are following up on all your prospects, all your leads, following up with your past clients, calling them all the time. You should be calling your past clients at least 3, 4 times a year, asking them, do you need any referrals? How's everything going with the house? Are you happy? Whatever. Just checking in, staying in touch, reminding them that you're in real estate. Same thing with leads. If someone tells you that they're going to think about selling, and when I find out from a probate attorney that the probate's going to close in 3 months, I'm going to call that attorney back in 1 month. Okay. If you're talking to a probate heir or you're talking to a FSBO and they say, well, I'm thinking about hiring a real estate agent in 6 months. If my house doesn't sell, you're going to call them back in 2 or 3 months. Make lead follow-up. The money is in the lead follow-up. All right. It's all in the follow-up. And if you're not following up with your leads and your prospects, you're just letting major money fall right between your fingers. So that should be a significant part of your day. And that should be a part of that prospecting block time. Okay. So maybe your block time every single morning is going to be you're going to call a couple SOIs, you're going to call a couple probates, and then you're going to do all your lead follow-up and have a good CRM system that reminds you of all the leads you were supposed to call that particular day. I've got a great CRM system. There's tons of them out there. It's not rocket science, but find one that you can tag your leads and your prospects out into the future, and they tell you who you need to call every single day. All right. So it's a lot of information. I am going to post this live in my free course area, so you can review this if you want. You can review the recording, but it's super important. We know that we need to be the best listing agents that we can be. Listing agents are where it's at, especially with all the new commission rules coming down with the National Association of Real Estate Agents. Super important to be a really top listing agent. And I just hope that you can take some of these hopefully nuggets that you think can help you with your business and make you a better real estate agent. And once again, please don't hesitate to hit me up in my DMs if you have any questions. Easiest way to get in touch with me, go to my website that's at the bottom of your screen, hopefully, called theagentunleashed.com/masterclass. Listen to that brief video. You can book a call right away with me, and let's talk about any questions that you have or how we can put some of these things, implement some of these steps that I just talked about in your business right away. All right, let's make 2024 our best year ever. And again, hit me up if you have any questions. All right, guys, you have the best day ever. Have a powerful week, and hopefully I'll talk to you soon.